All right. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. How is everybody doing? You know the routine. I'm going to take a minute, just get a couple people on here, wait for this to kick in. If you jump on, you see this, let me know you're out there. Good week this week. Um, yeah, excited about what's to come. I think it's been a pretty good week this week. Got to spend some time down in DC. Special shout out to I'll start off and just say special shout out to Steve Weintraub down there in Arizona, longtime friend. Uh, Linked up with or got to chat with him for a little bit, and then Tuesday I went down to DC for a meeting. Um, was in DC with a company called Parade Deck, and a special shout out to the founder. I'll leave his name unanimous at the moment, but just great conversation. And if you look up Parade, if you're a veteran or you're active duty military or you're a spouse, look up Parade Deck. They're going to be at Military Influencer Conference in Atlanta here, I think next week. Look them up. Great organization. They have a ton of podcasters and military influencers on their website, and they're doing some amazing things. And I had the privilege to go down and sit in their office literally all day on Tuesday, and just great conversation with their founder and whatnot there. We'll see what comes to that. That's all I can say about that, but really good organization, especially for our military and our veteran community. So a shout out to them. Again, Parade Deck, you can go check them out. What else? Ken, good morning to you, brother. Always appreciate you jumping on so much. Thank you. What else was I going to talk about? September. This month is Suicide Awareness Month. And I think in the title of this week's episodes, I put "You Matter." So I'm seeing I'm not seeing a lot, I should say. I'm seeing some posts on social media about it, but you do matter. Make sure you check on your battle buddies. And that's for all of us. All of us need to go out and we need to check on our battle buddies. So if there's somebody out there that you haven't talked to in a while or whatnot, just give them a shout. Let them know that you care. If you need somebody to check in or whatnot, give us a call. I'm always happy to talk with vets and have and do weekly. So you do matter. If you got some issues, talk about them and just know that there's people out there to help you. What else? Before I jump into just the craziness of news articles that we found this week, let's go ahead and talk about some events that are coming up. Next week, we're leaving for Florida. We're going down the following week, Friday, September 20th. It's the Team Addo All Heroes Welcome Ball. If you're not familiar with Team Addo, go check them out. You can go to teamaddo.org. Great nonprofit organization. This is our 5th year in attendance, I believe. We go down there, and our company, our sister company, HMG Beverage, has contributed and participated the last few years in it. I'll be going down there in support. HMG is going to do down there. I'm also working the Team Addo, or excuse me, the JB Addo Clothier booth as well. But Team Addo, their Veterans Closet, great program that they have. And the founder, James Boggs, has just done a fantastic job with this organization over the years. But this is, I believe, their eighth annual um, All Heroes Welcome Ball, and it's a Havana Nights theme. So this is going to be a fun night. And then the next night, or excuse me, the next day is the charity fishing tournament. I got to look over here because it's the Saturday, September 21st. The All Heroes Open, great fishing tournament, a lot of fun. I think last year, don't quote me on the number, but I believe there was like 300 veterans that they took out onto the water, and they had 60 plus boats, boat captains that a lot of them volunteer their time to come in, or some volunteer their time to come in, and they take these veterans out and they go fishing. Big fishing tournament, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. HMG team HMG took third place last year. I think we took first in the most species caught with 14. It was such a fun time. And if you're in the Tampa area, come on out and check it out, whether it's Friday night, the 20th, or you want to be a part of Saturday, the 21st. Go check it out. Go to teamauto.org. Gabe, what's up, brother? Appreciate you jumping on. Hope you're well. We need to catch up soon. Excuse me. A little hoarse this morning. What's up with the weather too? Like it was warm and then all of a sudden just dipped down. I'm loving it. Fall is in the air. I'm digging it. So let's get started. I want to hear some of your guys' comments. Some of the news articles that I saw this week. The first one I'm going to talk about is what's going on in Colorado. Aurora, Colorado. You're seeing a lot of there was a video that was going out quite a bit on social media that showed some of these allegedly there were Venezuelan gang that were going into this apartment complex and then really kind of taking over, or at least that was, we're led to believe. As of yesterday or early this morning, there was an article in a Denver outlet that said that that's not really what's going on. There's been some interviews with some police there in the Denver Aurora area. So can anybody shed some light on this? I'm kind of curious. Was this what's really going on out in Aurora? Is there a problem with the Venezuelan gangs out there? I saw another video, and I'm not sure. This was just off the cuff, but there was a lot of not protesters, but people. Yeah, they're protesting that the gangs aren't really an issue. I mean, they're around, but they haven't really been seen. So I'm wondering if what we're seeing on social media is just being a rouge. Let me take that off the screen there. Gabe, what do we have here? All right, let's we'll get together after the show. So Aurora, Colorado, what's going on? Anybody out in Aurora? I know I got a couple of viewers out there that watch this. Again, share this. The stuff that we're about to go over, please share this. We get shadow banned on some of these platforms. And then I get these warnings because I'm talking about stuff that string pullers don't like me to talk about. Whatever. All right. First up in the queue, Congress issues a subpoena to VP nominee Tim Walz aimed for the COVID relief fund probe. This was driven by a Republican-led inquiry by Congress into the misuse of COVID disaster relief funds. A subpoena has been issued to Tim Walz, the vice president nominee. The investigation was sparked by allegations involving Feeding Our Future, which is a nonprofit from Minnesota, entangled in a scandalous $250 million fraud, as described by the Justice Department. The scam took advantage of the COVID relief initiative intended to assist children facing hunger due to the pandemic. Do you think we're gonna start seeing more? I mean, we're beginning of September, November's right around the corner. You don't see a lot of, I don't wanna say negative stuff. You're starting to see more political ads on TV, but I think the Democrats are really kinda taking the lead in commercials and promotion stuff that's being out. What are your guys' thoughts? Are we gonna start seeing more and more of this as November approaches? Man, I cannot talk today. Holy sh Wonder what's gonna happen with this. Will this go over? Will Tim Walz, is this gonna be, um, overseen? Will this get swept under the rug? AJ, God, thank you for jumping on. Yeah, I think we're a lot of this is gonna happen. AJ Richards, everybody, if you're not following him, make sure you do. I brought it up every week. We talk about I mentioned our food supply chain and the attack that's being done on that. So make sure you pay attention. Support your local ranchers and local farmers. If you need some, go to fromthefarm.io. Um, check them out. Great organization there. What do we have here? Yeah, until election time. Yeah, but, the election campaign will be buying up as much space as possible. Yeah, so basically, it's just more trash. That's what I'm hearing. My opinion, my show, my opinion. But AJ, you're right. I think we're going to see more and more election campaigns. And since we're talking about campaigns, I want to jump to what's going on. Something this week is supposed, actually today, is supposed to happen. The what was it? The National Guard's been staging in hotels and around the New York City courthouse ahead of the Trump that was former President Donald Trump supposed to be sentenced on September 18th. But the judge is expected to say something today, sometime today, um, when former President Donald Trump will be sentenced for falsifying records to cover up hush money payment to an adult film star whose name wasn't mentioned, but I'm pretty sure it was Sloppy Seconds. So, yeah, falsifying business records to cover up hush money. Anyway, Trump has twice sought the delay of sentencing after the conviction in May by a unanimous jury of 34 felony counts for falsifying business records. He was originally scheduled to be sentenced on July 11th, but the justice, Juan Merchant, pushed back that date to September 18th after Trump mentioned for the judge or motion for the judge to set aside his conviction. Trump cited that the Supreme Court ruling that former presidents have immunity for official acts and evidence related to presidential work cannot be included in criminal trials. So I'm curious to see what happens today and what goes on forward when it comes to President Trump. And I also think it's funny that they didn't mention the adult film star. So I just came up with the name Sloppy Seconds. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. New York is the National Guard's been called up. They're staging in the hotels up there, and that's not the only reason why. Apparently, they've been deployed to guard the housing for these illegal immigrants back in 2023, I think. Last year, the Wolcott Hotel in Manhattan, which has been converted into a shelter for migrants, was a popular tourist destination, to my understanding, at one point. But they closed to regular guests in 2023 due to the migrant crisis and the concerns over COVID-19. So it's New York is in the news yet again. Interesting. Pay attention to what goes on today, what that judge comes out with the Trump stuff. Again, we're leading into the November election. I think I really don't even want to put it out in the universe, but are things going to get worse before they get better? God, I hope not. IRS. How many people love the IRS? Come on, raise your hand. And we just got banned and shut down. If you're still out there, let me know you're still seeing me. AJ, way worse. Yeah, it's gonna get a lot worse, I think. And I hate to say that, man. I hate to say that things might get worse or gonna get worse before they get better. But sometimes that just has to happen. We really, as a society at the lower level, I don't want to say lower level, but no, I'll go as far as say normal people, not the string pullers. We really need to start coming together. Anyway, moving on. IRS, one of our favorite organizations. They're hiring. The IRS is hiring DEI specialists. What is DEI specialist? That's a great question. And I got the answer for you. Is hiring a senior diversity and inclusion specialist. The position has a salary of $122,000 to $191,000 plus, according to the job description. The DEI role requires specialists to serve as a trusted subject matter expert and a source for diversity and inclusion educational services on the most complex, sensitive diversity and inclusion matters, including EEO, responsible accommodations, anti-harassment, and other areas as determined by the agency. Influences and yeah, this is oh my god. I mean, it just seems logical, right? Let's hire a but here's how do you tell if you're a trusted what makes you a trusted subject matter expert in diversity and inclusion? That's what I would like to know. Let's see here. AJ, yeah, let's start cutting. Yeah, we need to start cutting jobs big time. I'm putting that up there, AJ. So I ask, what's a trusted subject matter expert? Blue hair. Yeah, it could be. I mean that may fall under EEO right there. I don't know. You know, I see stuff like this and I get it from I really try to look at this from both perspectives. Do I think that somebody deserves a salary of that and then say that you're a subject matter expert in diversion and inclusion? No. I do think that you can when it comes to that, and a lot of this goes to like hiring practices, like who's the right person for the right job, right? But it I think we've gotten to the point where it doesn't, it's not always going to be whether you have the right person for the right job. It's whether or not that person can get us to check a box off saying, "Oh, we have X." And this is probably a very unpopular comment right now. I don't care. It's I'm just telling you. You can disagree with me, but and that's fine. I respect what you think. Diversity and inclusion. I get it. They want more people in certain jobs and whatnot. But when it comes to jobs, especially as a business owner, I think I don't I don't see race, color, or anything like that. I think that's crazy. And people are like, "Oh, you're full of crap, Adam." Your opinion. You look for the person that can do the job. Who's fit to do the right? I don't care if you're a man, a woman, black, brown, green, purple, blue, orange. I don't give a damn. Like, be the right person to do the job. That's what we need to really focus on. Again, that's just my 2 cents. And it looks like, I mean, and here's the other thing. This salary position, 122,000. I mean, I will dye my hair orange, and you can call me a trusted subject matter expert on diversity and inclusion. Ken, DDI has ruined NASA and Boeing. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's ruining a lot of companies. I think you're going to see a lot of, uh, yeah, I'll just stop right there. So, just know you heard it here first that your tax dollars are paying for this. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just here to educate. Speaking of education, let's go across the pond real quick. I want to talk about an Irish teacher arrested for refusing to use a student's preferred pronouns. What? A Christian teacher in Ireland has been fired after he refused to use a student's preferred pronouns. Enoch Burke was the gentleman, was previously placed on administrative leave in 2022 after he refused to address a student as they. He's been banned from the Wilson Hospital School in County Westmeath, Ireland, and spent 3 months in prison after he continued to appear on the campus in 2023. Burke told the court following the incident, "You will have to answer to God imprisoning me for my religious beliefs." Okay, fair enough. His brother reported that his ongoing imprisonment is a true face of the inclusive LGBTQI plus movement. Because he's a Christian teacher and he's been in prison after refusing to endorse the transgenderism and anti-Christian ideology. The guy stuck up for his beliefs, paying for it. I don't think it's right that he's got to pay for it. But this is in Ireland, and this is a country that you would think it has f- similar freedoms that we do here in the U.S. And I pulled this one because you look at some of the countries over Ireland, England area, Australia, certain things are happening. You got to kind of look outside of what we're being fed here with our mainstream media, and it's surprising. I know you veterans out there that watch this, Ken, AJ, DJ, Tony, a slew of you out there that watch. If you start paying attention to some of the things, like we know that if you really want to know what's going on in the U.S., watch a news channel from another country and see what they say about America. And you'll probably get more of a accurate story of what's really going on. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. What else do we got? I don't know. I think that IRS one was kind of probably my favorite one for the day or for the week. Anyway, don't forget to share this. Let's talk about some of the shows here on HMG. We got some new shows that are coming in starting in October, and we're looking forward to that. Go check out heroesmediagroup.com. You can see all the shows that are there. Remember, we are a service full agency. So if you're interested, if you have a podcast and you're looking for a home, we'd be happy to talk to you and have you part of the HMG family, whether you're a veteran or a what we call community hero, veteran, firefighter, first responder, educator, clergy, and so forth. We want, or you're somebody that supports them. We are growing and we want to welcome you to the HMG family. So reach out to us. We'd love to have you on board. If you are a organization or a company and you're looking to sponsor a show, we are taking applications right now. Reach out to us. We've got a large audience across the board, and we have sponsorship packages that we are making available now till the end of the year. So as we're moving into gearing up for 2025. So reach out to us. You can hit me up on any one of the platforms, social media platforms at Heroes Media GRP, or you can email me directly at Adam at Heroes Media grp.com. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody that has been on this morning, that's on right now live on the different platforms. Thank you for your love and support. A huge shout out to all of our shows, and we're going to get into what you missed on the shows this week. And first up in the queue, we have the strategic veteran. This week, we got Navy veteran to mortgage industry leader. His name is Ed Pursuit. Ed is a Navy veteran turned mortgage industry expert and the founder of Lending for Living. Boy, I might have to get my eyes checked. Ed shares his journey from serving as a Navy corpsman to becoming a leader in the mortgage industry. He likes to educate veterans on how you can become financially free by investing in real estate. He's got a best-selling book called Financial Freedom: Building Personal Wealth Through Home Ownership. Check it out. It's called The Strategic Veteran. Tony Sr., good morning to you, sir. Long time. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Next up, JMac Podcast. JMac Podcast down there in Arizona. Go check him out. You can catch out his shows on JMac Podcast on all the social platforms. He's got a new one out as of last night, I believe. Homefront Sit Rep Podcast. They got some new stuff coming up. Stand by for that. Professional Rule Breaker. Have you ever felt like you're last on your list? Consistently pushing through the day without giving yourself a moment to breathe. I could certainly relate to that. In this episode, special guest Rebecca Silence, a woman who knows firsthand what it means to hit the wall and still find a way to keep going. Rebecca's near-death experience shares her near-death experience and how it transformed her approach to life and business. Some of the takeaways that you're going to get from this episode is taking care of yourself is not just important, it's non-negotiable. I really like that. And also how to recognize the signs of burnout before they hit hard. It's a great one. This is a good episode. It's called The Professional Rule Breaker. Check it out. Again, you can see all the shows by simply going to heroesmediagroup.com. Go to the top, click on podcasts, and give you all a list of all the podcasts that are on our network. Next up, seniorlivingguide.com. Some of you that are on live right now need to pay attention to this. This week, Dr. Monique Nugget. She is an experienced physician and author of Prescription for Admission, a doctor's guide to navigating the hospital, advocating for yourself, and having a better hospitalization. That's the name of her book. In this episode, she shares invaluable advice on preparing for doctor's appointments and the importance of open communication with healthcare providers and the role of hospital case managers in post-hospital care. She discusses common concerns, especially for older patients who might hesitate to question their doctors out of respect for those doctors. I learned a lot from this episode, and it was actually mind-blowing. Like when you go to somebody, she had given an example of somebody came in with like a 3-ring binder of all of the things that they've had, prescriptions that they were on, history of stuff that they've been on in the last several years, and just the importance of it. Let your doctors know. And I'm certainly not one to be shy to ask questions on why a doctor is doing X, Y, and Z when I go to a doctor's appointment. So great episode. You can learn a lot from it. Seniorlivingguide.com it's called. Next up, Patriots Inside the Wire. Wednesday night, Gold Star mother Tracy has Ranger Rick. He's the veteran known as Ranger Batman. He's a big dude too. Organizes the Man 22 event to support the 22-day veteran awareness cause within our military community. Pretty cool episode. You can actually see watch the video on Patriots Inside the Wire Facebook page or YouTube channel. It's called Patriots Inside the Wire. Check it out. Next up, we got the bump in the road. Does the universe send you messages? That's a loaded question. Do you receive them? Not usually. This week, special guest Christian Rudberg. She's full of adventure, serendipity. I'm sorry, guys. And more than just a few messages. She talks about her journey along the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage from that spans hundreds of miles across Spain and France. That was actually pretty cool. I like listening to this one. Learned a lot from it. It's called Bump in the Road. Check it out. Next up, we got the Arms Room Show. This week, they're discussing the outdated medic and why you need to work harder to stay relevant. I freaking love it. These guys always put on a good show every week. New episode comes out every Monday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The Arms Room Show. Check it out. Next up, we got the Misfit Nation podcast. These guys do a show a couple times a week. This one here is from the Tuesday crew. They got USMC veteran Travis Overstreet. They talk about his journey into the world of outdoor adventure that began in 1987 when he started instructing climbing and paddling. He achieved second place in the Junior Nationals wild water paddling and then went on to instruct whitewater and flatwater paddling to the Boy Scout camps. He graduated and it's got an honorable discharge from the Marine Corps Infantry. He later became a climbing director for Odyssey Adventure Racing and a team paddler for Silver Birch Canoe Company. And the Roanoke program director for Beyond Boundaries. Really cool episode. They, like I said, this was their Tuesday night show. They have another one that came last night as well. Misfit Nation podcast. If you're not following them, check them out. They pump out a ton of content each week. So check them out. Misfit Nation podcast. Next up, we got Label Free podcast with our gal Deanna. This week, she interviews the talented artist and actor Swayze, known for his hit songs "Corona and Lime" and "Buzzin'." He discusses his rap reggae infused single "Smoke Too Soon" featuring Wiz Khalifa. Oh, I said that right. The conversation then dives into his experience of transition from music into acting, as his childhood dream was to become an actor. So this is a pretty cool episode. Check it out. It is called Label Free Podcast. David Gordon, I see what's going on, brother. How you doing? Appreciate you. Next up, we got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project. And again, another show that now you can watch their show live here on HMG or the HMG Facebook page when they go live. And they do their We Got Your 6 at 6 episode every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This past weekend, they Aaron Higgins, who represents SOG, Survivor Advisory and Working Group, also is a part of the Travis Manion Foundation. Good organization there. He has a story that nobody ever wants to live, but has grown into the different role of supporting those who have similar struggles. And then the musician this week was Romeo Vaughn, new and up and comer. So check it out. And the cool thing about their Sunday night program is they got a lot of veteran musicians that are up and coming. And then they also do, Tuesday night, I think. Don't quote me on that, but they got WeP3 Radio. And then Monday nights, they do their kind of like their version of the weekly wrap up. So check it out. People's Patriot Project, great organization. Check it out. Next up, the Decision Hour with yours truly. I got back behind the mic this week. And this was a really cool episode. I got to sit down with my friend Holly Joy McCabe. She's a neurosomatic trauma therapist that specializes in healing trauma and optimizing performance. She is the founder of Brain, Body, and Speak. I met Holly, uh, what was it, 2 months ago down in North Carolina at Empowered Podcast. Actually, I didn't meet her there. Ironically, we crossed paths. We never talked to each other at the event, and then she reached out to me through a mutual friend of ours, and got to chatting. She's going to be. We got her scheduled to come on, I think, here in another couple months, because she's got an organization that she's working with. Her organization is working directly with veterans, and it's amazing what she does. But this episode, she shares her journey, how she got where she's at today. She challenging childhood. She escaped an abusive cult. She battled trauma, violent assault, chased her music career, and then got into healing. And she's created several amazing programs that help people with trauma. And it was just a really cool episode. Sit down, check it out. It's called The Decision Hour. All right, next up, we got Other Side of the Firewall. I got to put this content warning. This episode discusses AI generated deep fakes and the explicit images of children, which may be sensitive or disturbing for some readers. I'm not putting any images up here on the live feed. The Other Side of the Firewall, this is an episode you definitely want to listen to. The conversation this week, and they do a show Monday through Friday. This was yesterday's episode. The conversation discusses the issue of non-consensual AI deep fake child images and the legal challenges surrounding it. The laws in Pennsylvania do not currently address deepfakes, which creates a loophole for those creating and distributing this content. The conversation explores the ethical and legal implications of generating images of people who do not exist and the need for legislation to protect victims. The hosts this week, they discuss the importance of educating children about the dangers of generating and sharing explicit content. Overall, the conversation highlights the need for laws to catch up with the rapid advancing technology. You're going to learn a lot. And I again, like their content warning at the beginning, I caution everybody, when you listen to this episode, it can be very disturbing. But this is something that we really need to start educating ourselves on, the way that the world is going and how technology is really taking over everything with AI. There's a lot to learn from this one. It's called The Other Side of the Firewall. Check it out. And again, after the lives, I will go into the different social platforms and post the links, or you could just go to heroesmediagroup.com and see the podcast there. It's called The Other Side of the Firewall. Check it out. Next up, we got Every Man's Odyssey. This week, special guest Chris Flagger. He shares his personal journey of faith and how he found God during difficult time in his life. They discuss the Bible. They discuss the need for Christians to be equipped with the armor of God to face the spiritual battles of life. Very true statement there. Host Cole, highlights the significance of faith, righteousness, and the word of God in our lives, and how the rejection of those principles have impacted society, especially among the veteran community. Pretty interesting episode. It's called Every Man's Odyssey. Go check it out. Next up, the Joel Evans Show. Joel's doing a ton of stuff. If you're not familiar with Joel Evans, it's Joel Evans Coaching, the Joel Evans Show. I think he just did one on how cell phones are ruining marriages, or how, don't quote, it's not the name of it, but it was something along that lines. Go follow Joel Evans on YouTube. He does a ton of content each week. Yesterday, he put out a show, From $300,000 Debt to Leadership Mastery, The Power of Alignment and Service, with Nick Cavato. Nick is a pastor, coach, a CEO, and a social media expert. and he really is a social media expert. They discuss the importance of self-examination and finding satisfaction in work. They also explore the concept of having a diverse skill set, um, and the value of being a trusted advisor. He shares his experience in building trust and developing leadership skills. They touch on the idea of being a jack of all trades and the importance of serving others. One of my favorite episodes that Joel has put out in a while, and he does some great episodes each and every week. Joel Evans Show, go check it out. Next up, we got Because Bikers Matter podcast. Host David, aka Vegas Schumann, interviews two special guests this week at Motobolt. First guest, Venus. She is a pediatric oncology nurse, an artist who volunteers to teach art to children with chronic illness. It's awesome. She shares her passion for using art therapy to help children express themselves and cope with their experiences. Second guest is Alicia, also known as Sweet Alice Sin, is an educational administrator and longtime supporter of Motobolt community. She discusses her involvement in promoting the event and her appearance at John Fest 6 coming up. So check that out. It's called Because Bikers Matter podcast. Let me say this about Because Bikers. This podcast, they do a ton for community heroes and a lot for veterans. If you're not familiar with this podcast, get familiar, especially if you're into motorcycles and whatnot. This is definitely one that you're going to want to listen to. Next up, we got the MSEC podcast, Military Child Education Coalition. It's a nonprofit organization focusing on our military children. Let's say it every week. If you are a veteran or active duty military, guard, or reserve, and you have children of age that are still in school, follow militarychild.org. And they have a slew of tools and resources for families. It's a great organization. This week on their podcast, they talked with Dr. Patricia Jennings and discusses the importance of supporting our educators' mental health and well-being, especially those that work with our military-connected students. She introduces us to care for teachers, cultivating awareness and resilience in education. You know, we got those acronyms in the military. We love those, right? She's a professional development program designed to help teachers with stress management and rediscover the joys of teaching. This is a cool episode, MSEC podcast. Check it out. Stay with me. Got one more here. This week, Chasing Happiness. This week, Ryan is sharing his journey through a recent health hiccup, but he's all right. He's doing better. And how it sparks some powerful insights into maintaining wellness amidst life choices. Some of the things that you're going to learn in this episode: rest and recovery. Taking time off is crucial. I think I said that last week or the week before. You know, I've said, you know, it's hard to fill other people's cups up when yours is empty. And I recently went through something very similar of the rest and recovery here recently myself. Other things you're going to learn in this week's episode of Chasing Happiness: creative problem solving. Think outside the box can help overcome health and real estate challenges. Also, healthy habits. Simple lifestyle tweaks can greatly impact your overall well-being. So true. Got to give a shout out. Let me do some shout outs here real quick. Shout out to Vet Ticks and First Ticks. If you're a veteran or a first responder and you like to go to concerts, events, or whatnot, sometimes you can't always afford them. You can find them on this organization, Vet Ticks, if you're a veteran, or First Ticks. They do fantastic thing. Again, special shout out to them and what they've done. And just reconnecting with them this past 2 weeks has been great. So shout out to them. My Tax Fella, if you're a business owner and you need help with your taxes or you need help with your bookkeeping, go to mytaxfella.com. Let the professionals handle it. Great organization. Tell Anthony that HMG sent you. Forget Genetics. All my hunters out there, those of you that love the deer hunt and whatnot, this is the stuff that you want in the woods. This will attract all the animals. They'll come and I love this stuff. It's fantastic. It's a veteran-owned company. Go to forgetgenetics.com. If you use promo code HMG at checkout, he's going to give you 10% off. Motorcycle safety lawyers. Home Studio Mastery with our friend Janaid. Check it out. The Freedom People. Get your trust. If you do not have a family trust or go to the Freedom People. They can help you put that trust together. Sisu Stamina and the Universal Learning Approach. Our friend John Mayo. Great organization. Love those guys. Check it out. Jim Neary's Bait and Tackle. This has been a sponsor of mine all summer for my fishing and fishing. I absolutely love it. And I'm coming up on time, so I got to get down there. Warriors on the Water LTD, another great nonprofit organization taking our veterans and first responders fishing. So that's it. That's all we got. Those of you that are still on or that watch this later on during the week and you've gotten this far in the show, I got a favor to ask of you. One, make sure you share this out. Like, share, and leave a comment. Let's tweak the algorithm so we can get more people on during the week. Two, if there's something that you want us to cover, get it to me by Wednesday of each week so I can put it in the rotation, and I'll make sure that we talk about it on the Friday weekly wrap-up. We got some new stuff coming. I'll be able to talk more about that at the beginning of October. But again, thank you all for being here each week. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, so I appreciate it. This weekend, again, make sure you check on your battle buddies. Give your battle buddies a call and check on them. Shut the phones off. Get away from the computers for a little while. Get out in nature. Have some fun this weekend. All right, we'll see you guys next week. God bless you. God bless America. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week.